take to their cafeteria and actually eat it, so they're getting healthy food and not just processed foods. Another program that we thought of was a reduce, reuse, recycle thing. Basically, have a bunch of garbage in the classroom, and the children can go through and find ways to reuse the garbage, or they can make outfits out of it. So they can have a fashion show. This is a great way to get the community involved, and everyone can take part in it in the grades. And then another one was a lifestyle pledge, which basically the children, they sign a contract that they pledge 5 different things that they'll do to help the environment. And this is a
visual example.
Something I made earlier.
Yeah. 3 years ago.
I'm like Blue Peter.
Copy from
So parents sign it off whenever the children do it, and it's like a 4-week program, and then I guess after the 4 weeks you'll start to see a big difference, if these kids keep up with what they promise to do. And then the other thing is a thrift store idea. Basically having them turn in old textbooks or old clothes, uniforms, fair trade products, anything really that they don't want, bring it in, and then have like a thrift store. So that's a great fundraising way for school, and the kids can learn about money and trading, how to reuse things, and the community can get involved.
Excellent.
Awesome.
You're going to do the third group? Brilliant.
Okay, so I need to see it because I'm not entirely familiar. So we did alternative education methodology, and we were trying to focus specifically on activities so that we can do to teach 2 main themes we came up with were sustainability, and then we did health. So a community garden. People have been doing that in a couple of different countries. We discussed how important that is just to touch the soil pretty much. And there was some websites. So I don't know how we're going to share these. Like we came up with websites and workshop titles.
I've got everyone's email address and
everyone
type
here?
up all the notes.
Okay, cool. So I won't go into detail.
If
about
anyone
all
didn't
that.
give their email, I think I've got everyone's on a piece of paper. Somebody didn't.
I didn't.
Okay. Okay, so happening in Mexico, in Canada, around the world, where kids are connecting with volunteers, learning about nutrition, learning about planting, learning about soil, compost, and all of the positive things that go with that. An idea that came out of somebody speaking about the refugee situation was a program around food security. So they were doing seed banks. And we were thinking about how a seed bank idea, so they're collecting seed, could work really well connecting with the developed world where your kids are collecting seeds and, providing them. It just, the possibilities are endless with a seed bank.
Really nice idea, yeah.
So
whose idea was that?
Well, I don't know your name.
I'm saying they actually delivered.
Can you recite, because that would be, we might find out more about that.
Sure.
I missed that. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
So we talked a lot about how important it is to, with alternative education, with all education, the role of play and experiential education, so doing. And we came up with lots of really fun ideas. One of the things was a global food bank, so where kids come and they know they're going to have a meal, and they decide, they have 10 different groups. Some groups are getting a food coupon that gives them a multi-course meal, and they're just completely spoiled with food. Some kids only get a bowl of rice, and some kids get nothing, is the idea between the global food bank. So it's just for kids to experience, and it's globally representative of, say, if there's 10 children participating, only one of those children would get a meal, for example. Lots of things. The Otesha Project, which is a Canadian-based organization doing experiential theater around the country. They bicycle around Canada, so otesha.ca. Recognizing, sorry? Oh, okay. Different games like diarrhea tag and salamander, which will be in the email. Let's see. Oh, this was really neat. I really liked it. What's happening in Mexico with this idea where they're looking at how styrofoam is decomposing versus an apple. They just place it in soil, and the students observe it over time. And so this apple is decomposing into the soil, of course, and the styrofoam plate never does. And so it's just a brilliant way, simple.
And drawing
way.
pictures, did you say?
Yeah, they draw pictures and they write up a description. So they have a
Really good idea.
Like a core, I
It's
don't
very
know.
simple. Yeah.
Very tangible and doable tool. I had never heard the word reuse or refuse. So refusing is the art of saying no to plastic and saying no to goods that come in too much packaging that's totally unnecessary, and we're in complete control of those decisions.
Yeah. I don't know if I could add before finishing the environmental thing. We were talking about recognizing the importance of making kids feel loved and being good with themselves when we are doing any kind of activity, because if we are talking about taking care of environment and being healthy, they must be like happy and feeling good with themselves too. So just trying to make them feel good. And another thing I was not able to say before this, just being as teachers and as professors being congruent. Like, does that word exist?
Yeah.
Just like if we're teaching our kids how to take care of the environment, just be the example for them. If we are teaching them how to eat healthy, be the example for them, because I've seen a lot of teachers saying, don't use styrofoam, and then just like eating in their styrofoam dish at the, you know, so.
We find that a lot, I think, when we go into schools to give workshops. We go to Style Free and it's like,
Nestle.
Yeah.
Nescafe
But there's a
has
lot
got
less
the,
styrofoam. I'm quite shocked.
Yeah, a lot
here.
less
I'm
styrofoam.
quite shocked
Yeah.
about the amount of styrofoam.
Or just,
we don't have that.
Styrofoam City.
Yeah.
We just
And at the hotels as well.
we just don't have that in It's gone out. It's just,
I'm from BC, and I think it's
Yeah,
very
we
different there as well. So we can't generalize
It's
across
vastly
the country. Oh yeah, like when you go to the store, you can't even buy styrofoam plates in my community because the paper is the only option. So here it's different.
Or even like you know, just like plastic. I know it's difficult, but if everybody just like brings this, because first of all we teach kids to recycle, but I think it's better to teach them to refuse and reduce. Like you can
Should be the
recycle,
first
but it's
step.
better if you don't produce any kind of waste.
Because
so.
recycling produces so much other waste on its own.
it takes energy.
So when you were reminding us about this, I thought about the words blame and shame. And education about environmental sustainability can always avoid or incorporate blame and shame. And it can be really, it can be a very negative experience to students if it's taught from a place of blame and shame. So when we're talking about love and self-esteem and empowerment, it's such a positive thing. It doesn't have to be from a place of blame and shame.
What's diarrhea tag?
Want to explain it? Diarrhea tag.
Diarrhea tag was
Yeah.